Okay, so John finally admits to this affair in open court. Um, Everyone's kind of shocked, saying, don't do this. And he's like, I wouldn't throw my good name away if it kind of wasn't true. Right? So Judge Stansforth looks at Abigail and he's like, is this true? And she's at first like, I can't believe you'd even ask me that question. Like, I'm going to leave. And he's like, oh, no, you're not. Like, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Right? So, finally, they kind of talk about that Elizabeth fired Abigail because of this affair. And John admits that Elizabeth knows about the affair. So, and John the whole time is just like, my wife does not lie. She cannot lie, even as he says. Like, even though, what kind of the implications against John, there's no way that Elizabeth can lie, right? She's never lied in her life. She can't tell a lie. So they decide they're going to bring Elizabeth in, right? Elizabeth knows about it. They're going to ask her. So they make John and Abigail turn around, right? So Elizabeth doesn't kind of know what's going on. They bring Elizabeth in. Dansford kind of asks, you fired Abigail, why? And she's like, I was kind of going, I thought maybe that Abigail and John were having a thing, but it was just that I was kind of crazy and sick or whatever. Right? And then the judge asked her, like, point blank, did John and Abigail have an affair? Right? To which Elizabeth answers no. And you have to kind of understand at the same time, right? Dansforth at this point, right? He says he's signed, I can't remember, but he signed these death warrants, right? So at this point, no one's actually been killed. No hangings have taken place, but he's assigned this. So if it comes out that Abigail was lying, right? Here are these distinguished judges from Boston that are going to also have been tricked, by this little girl and this group of girls. So it does kind of, like, they have something on the line too. They don't want to kind of see the truth because of what that will mean for them and their careers and what they've already done. And also remember, you've had people that have confessed to witchcraft. So that also helps, like, it all be, legit. So anyways, the judge is like, perfect, take Elizabeth away. John's like, I confess to it. Elizabeth's like, oh my gosh. But, they take Elizabeth away. And Hale now, finally, everything clicks. Hale's like, this is it. Like, it's always kind of struck me. Abigail's always kind of struck me as, like, liar. I believe John. And Dansford's just like, nope. Like, this is, he's just trying to overthrow the court. And John's turning on Abigail. So what does Abigail do? The exact same thing she always does, right? She puts it on someone else. So she then goes towards Mary, pretends Mary's kind of attacking her. Mary's transformed herself into a bird that's, coming after her. And so then, that's where all the focus goes, right? They're like, and then to Mary, they're like, you better stop this, right? And Mary's like, I'm not doing anything. And the judge is like, kind of the exact same thing he said to everyone, right? Like, you're going to be, like, thrown in prison. You're going to, for witchcraft and all this stuff. You need to stop doing it. And all the other girls are going along with it too. And so finally, Mary then turns on John, says he made her do it. He works for the devil. He said he made Mary, it said they were going to go overthrow the court, that his wife wasn't going to die, all this kind of stuff. So Mary then says, John's the devil man. So he's doing all of that. And, and Mary just goes to Abigail. She's like, I'm so sorry, Abigail. I'll never do that again. And Abigail, who just, then looks like a saint, here Mary was just attacking her, kind of takes Mary in and hugs her or whatever. And at this point, John is so like, he can't believe everything that's just happened and what he's seen. And so he kind of declares, God is dead, which to them is like the biggest, like, of course, he works the devil and is an awful person for him to say it. So John then is arrested. Reverend Hale is like, I'm gone. I denounce the court. I'm leaving. And that's kind of how the end of Act 3. Lots of crazy drama, which is awesome. Okay. So then that gets us into Act 4. So remember, at this point, Elizabeth's arrested, John's arrested, and Giles Corey has been arrested. Rebecca Nurse has been found guilty. Martha Corey has been found guilty. So Act 4 starts, I think it's been 3 months. So it's been 3 months since the end of Act 3, and it's the morning that they're all sentenced to be hanged. So you have John Proctor sentenced to be hanged, Martha Corey, and Rebecca Nurse. So they're all sentenced to be hanged that morning. And that's kind of where we start off with Act 4. Okay. So as you're listening to Act 4, I want you to be thinking about this essay that we're going to start next week, right? So what kind of decisions are being made? Who's kind of willing to confess to save their life, right? And who's willing to die for a principle of belief? And then think, what side, and even like, I'm not saying like you have to morally agree with it or whatever. It's just like, what do you think you could argue better in your essay? That's totally fine too, right? As long as you can have a thesis and back it up, then that's kind of what really matters. So just think about that as you are reading through Act 4 and finishing up the Crucible. Okay. As always, let me know if you have questions. So this week, your assignments, there'll be just a final quiz on, I think, just Act 4, that I'm not going to make it comprehensive. And then there'll also be a little body map that you'll do with Abigail and John that hopefully you find is kind of fun. And I'm more than happy if you want to do it on a separate piece of paper and like actually draw it out. And then just take a picture and then that's what you submit. Or if you want to do it like on the computer using, whatever it is that you want to use to do it'll make more sense when you read the assignment. Okay. So whatever you want to do is totally fine. And that'll get us through the Crucible. And then we'll start writing the essay next week. I think we'll work on that for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll watch the movie. So, which is the movie, they do a fantastic job. So it's a lot of fun. Okay. Again, let me know if you have questions. Hopefully you enjoy the end of the Crucible though. See ya.